Pluto entered Capricorn in 2008. For Capricorns, this has been a time of death, rebirth, transformation, and significant lifestyle changes. Some of us have fared better than others. In the first few years, I almost went down in flames more than once, but I ended up prevailing in epic fashion because I successfully cut ties with my past. If you're hanging on to anything that doesn't serve you and causes you pain and suffering, this could be detrimental to your whole existence. So please listen to what I have to say here. If you're seeing me right now, pay attention because it might be the message you need to hear. Hell can be right here on earth. So I'm speaking to you if that's what your life feels like. And I've been there. No judgments. Back to Pluto. Pluto's job is to dismantle structures that no longer work. And that's the perfect way to describe the structure of my life in the beginning years of this astrological event. Out of curiosity to educate myself and to increase my awareness and wisdom, I got out my old journals and did some backtracking. Revisiting 2008, 2009, and up until now helped me realize more than I ever have how damaging it is to hold on to things that don't work. I think Pluto entered Capricorn in like November 2008. I'm no expert, so look that up yourself. But during that time, nothing in my life worked, nothing. And I was very resistant to change. I seriously felt frozen in time. And 2008 ignited an era of absolute insanity. And I use the word insanity because I kept repeating the same patterns of behavior and expecting a different result. To top it all off, I had started my spiritual and self-empowerment work at that time. I mean, I roughly started down that path in 2005 or 2006, but I wasn't really serious about it. I was more curious than anything, but not committed to any real change. However, by 2008, 2009, there were whispers about my behavior because I was meditating and wanting something better. Now, that was good. The fact that I wanted better and was thinking about a better life was good. Still, I was trying to improve my situation in the same environment where the sadness was created and around the same people who cultivated and thrived off my sadness. Insanity. I held on to abusive relationships and fought to make them work. I fought hard to make them work. I put all my energy into those relationships, trying to change those people instead of myself. I placed my happiness into their hands, which left me sad, disappointed, crying, and empty-handed 10 times out of 10. I instinctively knew I was not meant to be around those people in that environment, but I held on for dear life. The thought of giving those people up was scary. And even though they treated me poorly, they were familiar, giving me like a false sense of safety and security. Now, I was broke, but reluctant to let go of a toxic, demented, codependent relationship with my father who controlled my resources. Taking money from him made my life a living hell, but the thought of self-reliance, it scared me to death. Now, after a chain of unfortunate events, which I openly discuss in my book here, which many of you have read, I finally shifted my thinking. I remember this pivotal moment vividly because I had a breaking point on New Year's Eve. What caused that was another episode of not getting what I wanted. The man I'd been involved with for so long story short, chose to be with his friends on New Year's Eve instead of me. As a matter of fact, he went to New Orleans to celebrate the holiday. And that set me off because we'd never taken a trip, not even an overnight stay somewhere. Now, although I was used to like playing second fiddle with this man, something about this instance, it hit different. And I spent that New Year's Eve alone, crying, with a bottle of Maker's Mark, 2 packs of cigarettes. And that night, I finally realized what I wanted, and it wasn't what I had. And I made a decision and a promise to myself that I was going to rise above that bullshit. And I kept saying to myself, I'm better than that. I'm better than this whole situation. I absolutely do not belong in this physical reality that I'm in, so why am I allowing this? That was the moment that led to where I am right now with that decision. I moved forward with determination and a vision like I had never had before. It's like I was being pushed. It was during that time frame that I dismantled several structures that were destroying my life, and in order to do that, I had to let go of the people, places, and things from my past. When I walked away from that relationship, that one move opened the door for new energy. My action to step away from something that was causing me endless pain and suffering sent a significant message to the universe that I was ready to receive the love and the support that I'd wanted for so long. For the next couple of months, I continued to cut cords like it wasn't no thing. I cut off several sour relationships. I started a side business to supplement my income so that I could get out of the toxic living situation I was in. I stopped hanging in bars, which was something I had done since I was a teenager. Yeah, I could easily get into bars when I was a teenager, yes. I stopped talking about my problems with people, which was something I had always done. So piece by piece, I removed my energy from things that would never get me where I wanted and where I was supposed to be, and I placed it on things that reflected my intentions. Keep in mind that I started cutting cords at the beginning of that year. 6 months later, I was out of that toxic living situation. I received a promotion at work. I was financially independent, completely self-reliant. And I met someone who was supportive and loving, and I married him a couple of years later. Release the past, I'm telling you, and the universe will conspire with you. But it will also conspire with you if you hold on to things that don't work, because that's what it thinks you want. Our actions determine everything. And right now, astrology might be on your side. So if you feel blocked or stuck, or you just flat out aren't satisfied with your life, take inventory of what no longer works. This includes people, places, and things. For instance, if there's something you do regularly that consistently frustrates you, stop doing it. Here's a tiny, petty example to help you understand this. I despise noise and noisy places, but I used to go to football games with my husband because I wanted to support his love of sports. I hate sports. So my mood was shot every time I went to those games, and I resented doing something I didn't want to do. I stopped going, and he was totally fine with that. Like, I only go to a sporting event in this day and time if I'm in the mood, and sometimes I am. It's rare. But sometimes if it's cold outside, I like to go to a football game. Other 90% of the time, I'm out. Again, petty example, but an excellent one to demonstrate what I'm talking about. Anything you do that causes you pain and suffering on any level, and let me tell you, when those football games went into overtime, I suffered. So anything that causes you to feel that way, cut cords with it. Use that time and energy on something that brings you peace and happiness, and sit back and see what happens. You will be rewarded. And don't forget to get your copy of Thought Snob, the modern spiritual playbook for a better life, available on Amazon. Link is in my bio.